So, hey guys, Chaucer here. So, in a few days, on the 11th, we're going to get the World Journey Sugo Fest. It's the first World Journey Sugo Fest on Global since I think it was like a month after I started the game, so it was like February 2020, so like almost 1.5 years ago. So yeah, been a long time. JP has had 3 batches since then, so we're going to get all of them at once. But yeah, in this video we're going to be talking about all of the World Journey characters. There will be 14 in total. I can't remember the last time I pulled on a Sugo and I lacked at least 14 characters that I could pull. Like for me personally, this will be almost nostalgic feeling to be able to pull a lot of new stuff. Hopefully the Sugo will be good with some of the new legends as well. We'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, let's go through them one at a time. We'll start with the oldest ones. The oldest ones are not the best anymore, but some of them are pretty interesting. Starting with Luffy, Quick Fighter, Free Spirit. And yeah, Sailors are nothing special. Limit Break. Slotbind and Barrier Pen, pretty good. Like that's the best possible limit break for an old unit. But special reduces Rainbow Shield and Threshold damage by 3 turns. And if Captain is fighter, you change block arm to batching. Like it's a pretty decent special. Like it's a Luffy unit, so you have all the support as well. Like it's not a unit you will pull for, but I'm sure he will see use sometime just because of how many support Luffy has. I will definitely be using him though. Like I plan to make teams with all of these after I get them, just for fun. But yeah, he's not like the one I want the most here. He is better than this Nami though, I dare say. Nami's sailors are sadly disappointing. Like if the para was one for the whole crew, it would be fine. Like removing para from just one character is like one of the worst sailor abilities, sadly. Limit break wise, slot bind reduction, that's nice. Pin shielding is fine too. Special though, reduce paralysis and silence by 3 turns. And if HP is above 80%, you change all color orbs to matching. Honestly, it's very weak. It's hard to say that it will never see play, but there are so many units with similar, like it's basically only if you need through the paralysis and silence removal, as well as some orb manip. But yeah, this is probably the worst World Journey unit, I'd say, viability wise. Zoro is very interesting though, mainly for the classes. Like this is the only shooter Zoro, so that's cool for when you use shooter teams. For some reason, like I do that personally, so I'd really like this Zoro. Another very cool part of this Zoro is that he has the sailor ability to reduce silence for the whole crew by 1 turn. Very good, that's one of the best sailor abilities. Limit break, it's fine, like reduce slot bind, it's fine. Crit, one of the worst limit breaks. I will probably talk about that in a video later, but crit is really bad. So it's a bit whatever. Special. And yeah, his special is good against barriers, otherwise it's whatever. But yeah, if the enemy has a barrier, changes all orbs including block to matching, and you also reduce the enemy barrier by 1 turn. Otherwise you just change adjacent to matching. So yeah, main reason to use this is if you want a Zoro that is shooter, you want his silence reduction ability, and you want to make use of the orb manip. Like if the enemy has a barrier, that changes things, of course. Moving on, Sanji. This unit is actually pretty good. Most Sanji units are, since they are usually based on recovery orbs. And recovery orbs are the best in the game, I dare say so. Great sailor as well. He makes recovery orbs beneficial for 3 classes. Very cool. This Sanji is also sadly not a slasher. You'd think that, since yeah, he holds a sword and everything, but sadly fighter powerhouse like usual. Slashers get recovery or beneficial though, so that's nice. Resisting special rewind is always good as well, even if he doesn't use it for others, but it still has its uses. But yeah, adjacent orbs are changing to recovery, so that's at 3 recovery orbs at max. If HP is below 30%, you get that 2 times ore boost for 2 turns for all characters. Otherwise, you get the 1.75 times ore boost for those 3 classes. See, very cool special. Sadly, the cooldown is very high. Limit break is whatever, like enrage is fine. Recovery bind is a bit whatever. But yeah, very nice units to have. Having the ability to get recovery orbs as well as ore boost is very cool. Moving on, Radio. Radio is designed to work with the Sanji. And yeah, sadly she doesn't have any good sailor builds for him. She also resists special rewind though, so that's nice. But yeah, she removes poison and blindness duration completely. As I've talked about before, like with the new legend radio, we got poison slots now. And the only way to remove them is by removing poison. So poison removing specials and support and such will only get better. If you have 3 or more characters with recovery orbs, you get a 2 times attack boost for 2 turns for all characters. Otherwise, you get 1.75 times attack boost for 2 turns for the 3 classes listed in the sailor ability. So yeah, it's clearly worse than Sanji, but still, it's a guaranteed 2-turn attack boost, and that's not bad. And extension specials are getting better, so that combined with resisting special rewind might see play. I don't see her being used otherwise. Now we have the next batch of World Union characters, the Boa, Mihawk, and Crocodile batch that debuted on Global in February of 2020, I think it was. Boa, shooter free spirit, Dex. Sadly, the sailors are not good. Like, the first sailor is just bizarre to me, if this is true. Getting attack boost by hitting first in chain, that's just useless. Let's look at the limit breaks. Pinch healing, reduce RSV bind. Like, pinch healing is fine, but recovery bind is whatever. Special reduces the chain debuffs by 5 turns. If Captain is shooter of free spirit, you also reduce bind by 5 and reduces increased defense by 5. Only 10 CD as well. Not much to say, great unit. Very unique combination of debuff removal. Very impressive, to be honest. I definitely hope I pick up this Boa. And like free spirit, like there's a lot of them, and yeah, she actually pairs pretty well with Versus Ace, for example, so very cool unit. Mihawk slasher cerebral strength. He has silence resist, so we already know what his special will do. Limit break ability, slot bind, always nice. Crit, basically worthless. Moving on to special. Mihawk reduces silence and paralysis by 5 turns. If Captain is slasher cerebral, you reduce increased damage taken duration by 5 turns and reduces enemies' percent damage reduction duration by 5 turns. Like, it's not bad at all. Like, guaranteed remove silence paralysis by 5 turns is fine. You can also remove some rainbow shield by 5 turns, but like, reduce increased damage taken is very niche, and yeah, just by 5 turns. Like, nowadays, if you want to remove increased damage taken, you mostly rely on the enrage limit break ability, since it removes it now. Like, you'll never run him just to remove increased damage taken. So yeah, he's cool, but yeah, not as impressive as Boa, I'd say. Crocodile, striker driven quick. Sailor abilities, nothing special. Potential abilities, enrage, that's cool. RSV bind, whatever. Special reduces burn and attack down by 5 turns. That's pretty funny, actually, since the free-to-play Halloween Crocodile removes the same debuffs also by 5 turns. If Captain is striker or driven, removes poison duration completely and reduces enemies' threshold damage duration by 5 turns. And yes, as I just said, removing poison has got better now. And it's pretty versatile as well, with removing burn as well. So that's pretty cool and might see some play. in content like that, like combines burn with poison or poison slots. Otherwise, like removing attack down by five turns is fine. Remove threshold duration by 5 is also cool. So yeah, I'm a fan. Cool unit, also just 10 CD. I still say Boa is the most useful of these, but I'd rate Crocodile over Mihawk at least. Moving on to the newer ones, we're getting to the new batch on Global. So the first one is the Rebecca and Vivi batch. So let's jump into Rebecca first. She's a fighter striker strength character. Sailor abilities, very good. Makes quick ores beneficial for fighter and striker. Very good sailor. She also reduces resist silence. We know what her special will do. Limit breaks, barrier pen, and fear. Great special. Fear especially since she removes silence. And silence is of course special bind. So yeah, let's look at the special. Reduces silence duration by 5 turns. And reduces enemy threshold damage reduction by 5 turns. If captain is fighter or striker, you boost color affinity for all characters by 1.75 times for 1 turn. And if you hit 4 perfects, it's instead 2 times color affinity the following turn. Very cool special. Remove special bind, remove damage threshold, color affinity for 2 different stages, and it's a rainbow color affinity. Very good unit. Rebecca as well, so you have the free-to-play Barto support, you have the Legend Loser support. Very good unit. Probably the best for your units overall, I'd say. Really hope I can get her. Moving on to Vivi. And Vivi is a fighter, free spirit, and quick character. Sailor's also good. She makes strength doors beneficial for fighter and free spirit. And she resists blindness by 5 turns. That's a pretty good sailor actually. Like, you don't want to use a special to remove blindness, so having a sailor to resist it is always nice when the time comes. Limit break, barrier pen, hunger, 2 of the best limit break abilities. Nothing to complain about here. Very good. Special, reduces burn by 5 turns. And recovers 15 times character's recovery at the end of the turn for 3 turns. If captain is fighter or free spirit, you boost attack of all characters by 1.75 times for 1 turn. And if you hit 4 perfects, the next turn you get a 2 times attack boost. Yeah. So it's not bad at all. It's just that the utility you get is only burn removal and some healing, as well as the sailor for blindness and strength door beneficial for 2 classes. So it's very rare to need those specific kinds of utility. And then if you look at her offensive, it's just attack boost, which is one of the most common buffs in the game. And there's many units that has perfects to carry over it. So I'm not going to say it's bad, it's just that there are way less times where Vivi is optimal compared to many other units. Still a fan though, like Vivi is my personal vibe, so I really hope I can get her anyway. Moving on, we have the Marco and Ace batch. They are very similar. I know people don't rate them high, but I personally think they are amazing. I really want them. Marco, Free Spirit Powerhouse Sai. Sailor abilities are whatever. Potential abilities, pinch healing and RCV bind. Also, like, pinch healing is fine, but special, that's the main thing about these units. You boost attack of free spirit and powerhouse characters by 1.75 times for 1 turn. Very good. After 2 turns, you get a 2 times attack boost for those classes. Perfect, so that's the timer buff. You get attack boost for 2 different stages. And if your captain is free spirit or powerhouse, you increase duration of any orb boost by 1 turn. And I just love these kind of specials that extend. And like, this means that not only do you get an attack boost for 2 different stages, you can boost an orb boost to also work for 2 different stages. And like, as the meta progresses, I think these kind of specials will be more common. So like, you can basically stack, you can use like a very high ore boost, then you can extend them with Marco, and maybe extend with another unit when you remove debuffs and such. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see it, but yeah, I definitely will like this one a lot. I'm not going to talk much about Ace, since he's basically the same as Marco but inverted. Ace is Free Spirit Powerhouse Int. He has better Sailor since he reduces blindness, and that's at least better than getting extra healing from recovery orbs. Potential abilities, Berry Pen and Fear, so a lot better potential abilities too. Berry Pen, very nice. Fear is good, but yeah, basically you keep the extra attack, boost, Sailor, and blindness, so yeah, that's pretty unique actually. But yeah, special is the same as Marco, but Ace is an ore booster instead and can extend attack boost. So yeah, pretty cool. The only weird thing is that they don't really have that great synergy together, since it's not like they can extend the other special to the next stage or such. And yeah, it's not like, and they both are time buffs, so they can stack that way, but yeah, I don't think they have to work together. I still think they are very cool, at least, and I really want both of them. Final batch, Koala and Sabo. Koala, Slasher, Cerebral, Psy. Sailors, if Captain is Slasher or Cerebral, make Psy orbs beneficial for those classes. That feels a bit convoluted, but better than not having it. Limit Break, reduce ship bind, that's fine. Pinch healing, that's fine. Special, reduces enemies' threshold damage reduction duration by 5 turns, reduce bind by 5 turns, change block and battle matching into matching. If Captain is Slasher or Cerebral, adds 1 to the chain for 1 turn, so that's +1. Nothing to complain about here. Lot of useful utility in one unit, and also chain boost. And chain boost special are actually pretty rare if you look at it, so having another one is very nice, and especially with these kind of combinations of utility. Very cool unit, I'm a big fan. Looking at Sabo, Slasher, Fighter Strength, so a Slasher Sabo is cool at least. Yeah, he can make strength beneficial for Slasher and Cerebral. If the captain is Slasher or Fighter, that sounds weird. We should double check that later. Limit Break, Hunger, and Slot Bind. Nothing to complain about there. Super good. Special, reduce resilience by 5 turns, reduces attack down by 5 turns. If HP is full when special is activated, boost color infinite of all characters by 2 times for 1 turn. Otherwise 1.75 times for 1 turn. So I think it was for 2 turns, but I can check that later when the Sugo goes live. But yeah, not as impressive as Koala, but like sometimes like you can get rid of resilience in many ways, but you can just use a special to remove it as well. Attack down removal always nice. And color affinity is at least the most uncommon of the 3 big buffs. So nice to get another one, and you also get some utility, and Sabo has a lot of good support. So not as good as Koala, I'd say, but still a very cool unit to have, and you can't forget about the Hunger and as well. Very nice to have. So yeah, that's all the World Journey characters. I hope I can pull most of them. I will probably do 8 multis. I'm assuming in the future that Global we get all World Journey Sugos together with the AP due to the sync. So going hard isn't as important as it will be otherwise. My main priority is still the Treasure Map Sugo Fest this month. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. See you next time.